Right now in my shop, I'm building this giant light fixture. I'll have a video on this in the future, but to build it I used a bunch of intersecting halved joints. I pulled this old halving jig out that I made a few years ago, and guys, honestly, I forgot how useful this thing is. Now, we're not going to build it today, but let me show you why you might want to make one for your shop. And if you want to make one, I'll put an on-screen link to the full build at the end of this video. Really quickly, we have to talk about framing. Framing is basically the skeleton of a structure. Whether it's a light fixture, a table base, or even a house, most three-dimensional objects have some sort of frame. Beyond shape, a frame's real job is alignment and strength. In modern house construction, walls are usually framed by butting boards together and then using nails to attach them. It's fast, efficient, and for structures that don't move around a whole lot, that's enough. But in the shop, things move, cabinets are on wheels, fixtures get handled, frames get twisted and stressed. One reason people use half joints, at least in my case when I'm building something larger like this light fixture, is because they're relatively easy to make. I'm basically cutting two surfaces, and when I'm done, they interlock with each other. When the material overlaps, you're getting long-grained glued surface and mechanical alignment at the same time. And all this can be done with something as simple as a table saw or a router. While mortise and tenons are more elegant, they take more time. And that's something I usually don't have a lot of time for when it comes to shop projects. Now, normally, half joints take a little time to lay out. On a long strip like this, I have to know exactly where all these pieces are going to intersect. If I have 4 strips crossing over another board, I need to know exactly where each one starts and stops. Okay, so let me give you an example. This board is 20 inches long, and I've got 5 boards that I want to connect to this through joints. This is really easy. I come in here, and I'm just basically going every 5 inches. So I start at 0, I go to 5, 10, 15, and then this will be on the other 0. And while it would be great if I could just butt these boards together and quickly add my marks, the joints need to be precise. If these layout lines drift, the joints get loose, gaps start appearing, and the frame can move around. So now you can see why it's really tempting just to hammer a nail through things instead, which is what we do in home building. Again, great for houses, but in my shop, because things take more abuse, I'd rather have joints. So instead of having to find out exactly where each one of these boards lines up, this is where my jig comes in. Same board here, you can see I've got my 5-inch layout marks. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take one of my boards, these are all the exact same width, so they all work together. Now I'll take the edge of one of my pieces of stock and I'm gonna draw a line on it. So one on one side and then the other. That's my center. I've got a pin directly in the center. This has just been epoxied in, and this just slides right up against that mark. With this in place, I can move this over as well as the other one until they meet and they push my stock so that it's straight. I've got knobs on the back that I tighten down, and this should be a little bit stiff to pull out. Now I'll take my stock and I just line it up to that mark right there. And I can use a knife. Usually I just use a pencil and then cut a little bit farther in, but we use a knife on both sides. And I can go to my next one and make my next mark. So right there. And I'll come down to the last one. Now on the ends, all I need to do is make sure that the space is eliminated when I move this over, like right about there. And I can add my mark on the end. Obviously for a good joint, I'm going to want to cut right into the middle. So I've got a piece of scrap that's the same size as the others. I'm using a caliper, but only because of this depth gauge on the other end. So I'll go down, lock it in place, and check the other side. And it looks like I need to go up just a little bit. And we'll check this now. Looks like I am right on the money. Now I just need to line my blade up to those cut lines that I made and make my passes. Now that these are cut, we'll put them together. Let's say you do make one that's just slightly too big. I made this one just slightly larger. You still have half a chance with the other side. So it still stays relatively tight. And another thing that I like about half lap joints is that they clamp themselves. So after I've added my glue, slide this on, there's nothing else I need to do. This joint is done. Now you might be asking, what about these numbers on the side? If I were to make this again, I wouldn't add them. I thought that they would come in useful at some point, but I've honestly never used them. Anyway, there should be a video that will pop up right here. This will take you to the build. And down here, I've got a bite-sized video that just explains it a little bit more. Thank you for watching, and remember to keep making things.